Hello everyone and welcome back to the Pilot 08 channel, and today in front of us, as you can see, we are in a 737-800 in the Qantas colours, and today we are operating out of the opposite side of Australia in comparison to where we normally are operating. Instead of being on the east coast, we're operating out on the west coast. We're currently in Perth. We'll be flying to Singapore as Qantas 71. In our 737, we're flying Victor Hotel X-Ray Zulu Echo, the 737 operating today's Qantas 71 service on the 23rd of March 2018. As you can see, catering is just going through the aircraft right now and putting on board all the snacks required for our 5-hour and 2-minute hop up to Singapore. Just looking over the flight plan as we sit here currently, and we have a fairly average flight, and catering requiring for us to close the doors. We'll have a headwind of about 12 knots on routes, climbing to 360 and then step climbing to flight level 380 during the flight. We have now just under 50 minutes to get the aircraft ready for departure. Seems like a lot of time, but when you take into account GSX and then we've got to do all the preparations, the only things I've done to this aircraft currently is, as you can see, I have got the ground equipment out, and I've got the doors all set up, and I've gone through and turned on basic power and aligned the IRS. So it's essentially technicians have came on board and started the aircraft up for us, and we're just going to take the aircraft from here. So we'll hop into the cockpit and we'll close those doors for the catering crew so they can leave, and we'll begin our preparations to Singapore. Alright, welcome to the flight deck of our 737. As you can see, we're flying Victor Hotel X-Ray Zulu Echo, and our SoCal code is there. This repaint is was made by, I think it was AusFS. I'll link their page in the comments, sorry, in the description rather, as they've made the entire Qantas 737 fleet pack, and this is one of their aircraft. As you can see, catering are just leaving now. So, I said it incorrectly before, we now have 50 minutes, yeah, just under 50 minutes now until we need to be pushing back from, or rather be departing from Perth. So we will jump down into the FMC here and we'll set ourselves lined up here. We're in YPPH Perth, and I don't believe it'll take this. I'll try it. Okay, no, let's try, because we're in gate 52 at the international terminal. Oh, okay, like that. Put that into here. We're flying from Perth to Singapore as QFA 71, and I'm just pulling over the flight plan. I've looked at the weather. I'll get Active Skies weather briefing to come through shortly, and we'll have a look, but I can tell you right now it's more than likely going to be runway 21 for departures out of Perth today, and we'll be going via this route. You can skip ahead if you don't wish to watch me entering the flight plan, but I'm going to enter it now. So first waypoint will be at ABNEX. It'll be on the, I believe it's the ABNEX to departure, I believe. Will be our departure, followed by a pocket. It'll be the second waypoint. We'll jump onto an airway, which is November 752, and that will take us to Papa Lima Bravo, and then we'll jump on the Golf 579 airway to Repov, and we'll fly on the Repov, I forgot the number, Alpha, I believe it was arrival into Singapore. Might have been Repov 9 Alpha, I can't quite remember. And following that, we'll just enter the airport code. I like to have that in there just so we can get a little bit more of an accurate fuel prediction in the progress page. I like to have that as a last waypoint. That's since we have not actually entered the SID or star yet, so I like to put that in there. And our zero fuel weight for today is approximately 125.4, and our planned fuel to be taken with us today will be 40,500 pounds. Our reserves, actually we'll put the cost index in. I know that cost index is 10. And we'll be initially going to flight level 360. I know it says that we can't go straight to that, but I'm fairly certain we can. I'm just reading through different parts of the flight plan now to get the cruise wind. So our average cruising wind will be 280 at 51. And our ISO deviation will be at about 11. And our reserves, when I go back to that, what was that? Here it was. I'm just flicking through, as I said, different parts of the flight plan to find this information. That'll be about 6.4 on the reserves. Hit execute. No error messages come up. And we'll look through the M1 limit rather, D1 limit, N1 limit a little bit later. And at the moment it's showing that in our current state we'll be arriving into Singapore with about 13,000 pounds of fuel on board, and my flight plan says I'll be arriving with about 11,700, but we have not started the APU or taxied out or anything like that just yet, so that's fine. Other than that, there is not too much else to be covered here as of yet. We can put our setting here over into plan mode, and we can step through the flight plan, make sure that everything is okay. So Avnex is our first waypoint, then we go direct pocket. Nonog is part of an airway, Upnot, Malvi, Atmel, Bolak, Dunham, Upper Lima Bravo, and then as you can see we're getting fairly close into Singapore here. We got a party, and I believe that is FIR 11, and then Repov, and then into Singapore. So that all looks fine. There is no errors that I can see in the flight plan. We're putting traffic and data on both screens, and that's about it for the time being. We'll get the ATIS up actually, and as I said before, there is no ATC online currently. So we have to refer to the active sky weather briefing, which is on 1220, I believe.
Yankee, Papa, Papa, Hotel, Airport Information, Delta 0300, Zulu, weather, wind 141 at 9er, visibility 10, sky condition, few clouds at 3000, temperature 25, Yankee, Papa, Papa, Hotel, Airport Information, Echo 0300, Zulu, weather, wind 141 at 9er, visibility 10, sky condition, few clouds at 3000, temperature 25, dew point 13, QNH 1015, advise on initial contact, you have information, Echo, Yankee.
So according to Active Sky's information Echo, but really I was just getting that to get the altimeter. That's currently 1015 hectopascals. And the winds, as you heard, 1 at 9. So it'll be runway 21 for departure. And not too much else really to be covered here until we begin boarding in a matter of minutes. Otherwise we'll jump outside and we'll have a look around the aircraft, and then we'll come back inside whilst the crew are boarding the aircraft, and we can do our final preparations in the cockpit. Alright, so we've just came out the rear door. We did a quick pass through the cabin before the cabin crew started boarding the passengers, I guess you could say. And as you can see, we're in the Victor Hotel, X-Ray Zulu Echo. And we're just going to do a walk around of the aircraft really quickly. Again using the chase lane foreground feature, which I quite like. As you can see, we're just coming down and having a quick look at landing gear, which are quite dirty, but adds to a bit of realism. I quite like that. Really like that actually. You get a bit of dirt around the engines here, a little bit of a dirty aircraft that might need a wash eventually. Go around, look in front of the CM56. down the trailing edge of the wing. As you can see, nicely done the registration on the underneath of the wing here. And a bit of dirt and grime on the wings as well, which adds a bit of character to the aircraft. And just walking around to the edge here. Very nice. And just coming up to the tail here. Some of you that might not know, but with GSX there is a particular set of stairs. Not these ones, unfortunately. Normally the stairs that you'd find if you're flying an A320 or a 321, you can actually walk up and down the stairs. I think you might actually be able to do it on these baggage carts. I'll give it a try, but it's going to look so bad. But I'm pretty sure some of them you can. Some things you can walk up and down in GSX. Nonetheless, I'll look at the tailor here. Very nice weather here in Perth as well. Very nice weather for a fly. We'll let this aircraft go by, aircraft rather, a truck. Come around and quickly before this guy moves his little truck away, we'll quickly jump up and see if we can walk along this belt. So let this truck move. Here we go. He's moving. I'll quickly come around. I don't believe you can walk up these ones. I know there's stairs you can walk up, but yeah. No, as you can see, we can't walk up. But yeah, as I said, there are certain stairs. I'll do a video on it eventually. I'll more than likely fly an A320 soon, and we'll walk up and down the stairs. I think I've actually experienced it. Yeah, I've experienced it once where I was able to walk up the baggage loader. It was a little bit interesting. Just gotta be careful as there's another truck here. Or another vehicle. Again, having a look at it underneath of the wing here, a bit of dirt and grime. Looks amazing. Coming back on the leading edge of the aircraft's right wing. Little stutter there. Come back in. More stutters. That's interesting. Never seen that many stutters before. Wow, that's really bad. I don't even know what that is. That's really, really bad. Now it seems to be gone. Alright. Oh, there's one. We'll see if getting back in the cockpit fixes it, but looking down the front of the second CFM56 that'll be powering the 737 over to Singapore. And the static ports are all clear, nothing's stuck in them. As you see, we're flying Pine Creek. And we'll remove those torpedo covers when we get back into the aircraft. But I'm happy with that. The walk around went smoothly. I just walked into a ground power unit. But I'm very happy with that, so we'll jump back up in the cockpit and we'll continue cockpit preparations. Alright, so we're back in the cockpit, and you can see the first officer's done a calculation, and we'll be derating to 39 degrees today. There we go. We'll go and grab our departure. This will be departing runway 21 of the AVNEX 2 departure. And I hope the cabin crew... Okay, for some reason the cabin crew got stuck and couldn't board. We'll have to close that door. And we'll open it again and see if that fixes it. Alright, now they're boarding. Alright. We'll check on the route. Everything's fine there. As you can see now, it's AVNEX 2 to AVNEX. We're going to save that. Yeah, we'll save it. There's Perth and Singapore. Center of gravity is 20.8. We're using flat 5 departure. V1 148, rotate 149, V2 155. So we'll just come back up here and we'll set up the overhead here. Apparently we're unable next altitude due to our weight. Let's see, what is the next altitude restriction? So they want us at 2,500 by Navy, and apparently we can't make that restriction. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Well, according to this chart, if we go, let's try derate 38 according to the calculations. We'll enter those V-speed again. The V-speed stayed the same, so... Okay, still unable next altitude. Alright, we will... we will set that up to be 1500 or above. How about that? Let's see if we can even make 1500 or above. Right, so it doesn't have a problem with 1500 or above, so we'll leave it at that. As I said, V1 148, rotate 149, V2 155, 155 plus 20 is 175, run heading is 210, correction is 196, 195, and as I said, there's no ATC online, so it's not going to be a step climbing, but we'll be climbing straight up to 360, with the flight directives left and right on, LNAV, VNAV, and all brakes set on, seatbelt sign on. Altitude in Singapore is about 22 feet, so we'll set it about 50, and our cruise altitude will set that to 380, and we'll be step climbing to 380 a little bit later on in the flight. We'll put the window heat on, and we can do some tests. Flight test is complete. All those tests checked. Not entirely sure why that flight recorder light is on and showing off, because it's in the normal position. We turn it off, then it cancels it, and as soon as you put that down, it puts that alarm back on. I don't exactly know why, it's really weird. Let's see if this fixes anything. Nope, okay. We'll just leave that. So it says there is an overhead problem. I think I know exactly what the problem is, and it's the fact that we have the forward entry, the aft entry, and the forward and aft cargo doors open. That's completely fine, we don't need to worry about that. Other than that, I'm just looking around the cockpit to see if there's anything else we can fix. Score code will be 1200, don't need to change that. Weather radar, we'll set that up, turn the gains up on both sides. And 1228 is set as we're on Unicom and there's no ATC around. Check the oxygen, that's set. Throttles are free. That's really about it. There's not a lot to set up in 737. It's really quite simple. I guess we could probably go and start the APU. So we'll put the center fuel pumps on first, because we'll just need the center fuel pumps first. And we'll start the APU. Otherwise, as I said, there really isn't too much else to be done. We're ready to depart. With about half an hour until we are scheduled to depart. We'll be pushing back from the gate in about 20 minutes. That'll give us about 10 minutes worth of taxi time availability, and that'll get us from the terminal to 2-1 without a single problem in the world. So I'm not stressed about getting up to the runway in time at all. As you can see, this is well, actually isn't default scenery here for Perth. This is an AFCAD done by Ray Smith, which again I'll put in the description below. And we'll be flying into ImagineSim Singapore. So we'll be flying into an airport where there is a pay-aware scenery, but it's just because there is no decent scenery for Perth International Airport as we speak, as of 23rd of March 2018. There is word that ORBX will be developing Perth Airport soon, so that will more than likely become then a part of our scenery arsenal, I guess you could say. But until then, we'll just be rocking with this AFCAD, which isn't too bad. So, but yeah, no, we'll leave it at that. As I said, there's really not too much else to be done, so I'll come back to you guys when we're ready to push back and be on our way to Singapore. Alright, so the cam crew have just finished boarding everyone, and it's time to get underway. So, the APU has been running for a while now, so we will disconnect ground power, and we'll hook up to that APU. We'll disconnect ground power, and we'll set the parking brake, and we'll remove chocks. We'll close the main cabin door, and we'll set that to the takeoff page. We'll put that onto the takeoff page. Cabin crew have closed the doors so the jetway can go away. We will put the anti-collision light on. cockpit heat's on, hydraulics on, I'll turn all the fuel pumps off departure, your damper on, and we're pretty much ready to go. So we're going to call on GSX to push us back nose right tail left, and we will be on our way. Put that onto TA only, bring up the engines page, and quickly just have one more listen to the ATIS, because I feel that's necessary.
Yankee, Papa, Papa, Hotel, Airport Information, India, 0330, Zulu, weather, wind, 141, at 8, visibility, 10, sky clear, temperature, 27, dew point, 13, QNH, 1015, advise on initial contact.
Alright, information India, that's fine, and we'll be on our way out of here. They're locking the gear. As I said before, flight time is about 5 hours and 2 minutes, and our total block-to-block time is expected to be 5 hours and 22 minutes. Alright, we're going to start the clock on the first officer side, brake released. I'm going to turn the packs off, start number 2, starting 2, and we'll focus on getting this engine started. Looking for about 20% down here on N2. And I'll add the fuel mixture. There we go, I can hear it starting up. And runway 21 is over there as well, so we have a little bit of a taxi. In hindsight, I probably should have pushed nose left. No, I think we're good pushing nose right. Engine 2 starter cutoff, starting 1. I'll come down here and look for, or watch for a good engine start. 20% fuel flow. As you can see here, we need to set trim to 5.79, so we're going to bring that back to about here. Keep bringing it back. About there. And we'll set flap 5, flap 1, 2, 5. Alright, we've had 2 good starts. We'll go engine bleeds on, AP bleed off, packs on, and we'll set the engine power providing electricity and all the other good stuff. Shut down the APU. Parking brake set. We'll wait for GSX to let us go. Alright, so I should probably get some charts out now. For Perth, so I know where I'm going. I'll just bring up my charts now. Alright. We will taxi via Sierra, Charlie, and then Whiskey, if I can find those taxiways. Actually, let me just see, I'm pretty certain. One downside to flying 737 is not like 787, it doesn't have moving ground maps. Because if we had moving ground maps, that'd be awesome. I say, okay, if we take there, I cannot speak today. We come out here onto the T lane and take Charlie up, and that'll go with the taxi route that I have planned. So we'll go turn off lights and taxi lights on, and we will go weather radars now on, so the crew is out of the way, and let's get moving. So we will release the brakes, bring the power up a little bit. bring the HUD down. Why not? I'll bring that level of brightness down a little bit. There we go. Don't need it on full. And as I said, we'll try and take Charlie and Whiskey is our planned taxiway, so I think I could have turned right there and gone into the Sierra, I believe it was, but we'll just taxi out here and take Charlie and then Whiskey is much simpler. So we'll make our way down. We don't have to. It's recommended that when you are flying on VATSIM, despite there being no controls online or no traffic, to sort of type your intentions, I guess you could say, in the intercom chat. But honestly, with no one around here, I don't see the point. I can show you right here. There is no one around. As you can see, there is others via air traffic, and then there are lists of people, so there's no one around Perth. Unfortunately, being Western Australia, there hardly ever is actually anyone around this area. It's a little bit of a ghost town in a way, with there not being too many people flying around Perth unless there is an event on. But just in general, there isn't much traffic over here in Perth. But I feel that when Qantas begin their direct services from Perth to London, which actually happened in one day now for me, when I filmed this, not necessarily going to post this, but I do believe that there'll be a large increase in traffic into Perth with the amount of people that'll be then flying the Perth-London return flights. That'll be pretty cool to see. But no, but we'll make our way up to runway 21 for departure to Singapore. Alright, so we're just rolling up on taxiway Whiskey now. We just came up Charlie and now on Whiskey, and runway 21 is just off to our left here, as you can see. I did a quick check again, and there is no one online in this side of the country whatsoever. So we'll do a quick check nonetheless, because I guess you could say it's almost procedure. And taxi light off, landing lights on, and the strobe and navigation lights go on. Yeah, we'll do that one, yep. And weather radar is set, transponder set, flaps set, cabin crew have reporter ready, turn auto throttle on. We'll line up and we'll be on our way to Singapore. Alright, runway 21 confirmed. Here we are. Alright, heading sync, both 195 and 195. Alright, let's start the clock. Thrust up to about 50%. And stable, toga. Bit of forward pressure. 80 knots. Thrust hold 100 knots. V1 rotate. V2 was ready to climb, gear up. Trim it out. See you later, Perth. Climb thrust set. nose back down again. I think we probably we're still flying the aircraft manually, and had we been following the flight director, we probably wouldn't have made this waypoint by the altitude. But forward, it said this altitude by 2,500 feet. We're making that very easily at this point. We're just about to pass through 2,500 feet with about 2.4 miles to run. So yeah, we're well over that preset altitude that the FMC said we couldn't make, but we made it without a problem. We're auto brakes off, landing gear off. Then we'll make that right hand turn. I'm gonna go flap 2. Bring that turn around to the right. We'll go flap 1. Overshot the turn a little bit, but that's alright. Perth City just off to our right now. Then we'll pull flaps up. We're going to get rid of the heads up display now. Bring that nose back down just a little bit. We'll fix up that overshoot we put in. Engage the autopilot. Autopilot in command. Fly through some clouds on our way out of Perth. Bring that zoom out. And put onto the progress page. Rather calm departure. Take the turn off lights off. And as you can see down here, the progress page will be arriving into Singapore at 0939 Zulu roughly, not including our star yet. So with our star, we'll probably end up arriving into Singapore at about 0945 Zulu. Which is about 5:45 in the afternoon. We should be arriving a little bit later than our estimated arrival time, but hopefully we can pick up a bit of a wind change as we get up into our cruising altitudes, and we'll pick up that time. So at the moment we are running about 8 minutes late into Singapore, but still just around the golden hour in Singapore, so it should be a very nice arrival. Coming up to 10,000 feet, so we got landing lights off and standard. And as you can see, there's not too much weather out and about, so we're going to turn the seatbelt sign off. So now we'll just make our way up to 36,000 feet initially, and about 2 hours and 18 minutes into flight, we'll make a step time to 340, and correction 380 rather, and from there we'll continue our flight through to Singapore, and then I'll talk to you again once I get a little bit closer to Singapore, but for the remaining 4 hours and 57 minutes or so, I'll leave you with a little video montage to look at. So I'll talk to you later.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the flight deck of Qantas 71 to Singapore from Perth. And we're coming up in about 5 minutes, or about 40 miles till top descent. As you can see, we've climbed from flight level 360 up to 380. And I have just checked the local weather for Singapore. The winds are about 030 to 11 knots, fairly cloudy, and temperatures about 33 degrees Celsius. And with that wind, we decided to take runway 02 center for arrival on the Repo 1 Alpha arrival, and we'll be landing actually early now. We picked up a bit of time during the flight, and it'll be landing yeah, a little bit early now, so that's pretty good. So I'm just doing some final setup. As I said, it's 11 knot winds from the right. I'm just going to use flat 40 speed plus 5, which is 44. So now we've got the reference speed in. As you can see, we've got the course radio frequency, so we've got the course at 023 and 023, and the frequency is 108.3. We've got 108.3 here and here. And yeah, we've been airborne for about 4 hours and 32 minutes, and at this point it looks like we'll be arriving just a few minutes ahead of schedule, so all is looking good. We'll select auto brake 2 for the arrival. We're following a Singapore 777 from Jakarta into Singapore. He's a bit ahead of me. He's landing about 12 minutes ahead of me, but as I overflew Jakarta, which there was a little bit of Jakarta in the little bit of videoing that I did before, so but yeah, no, he ended up getting way ahead of me because he was going a bit faster at lower level. As you can see, there was a bit of storms just back there, but we did not end up having to do too much deviating, as the weather ended up being pretty much perfect in our route of flight. So, as I said, we're pretty much just getting ready to begin our descent into Singapore. So I'm going to go down to the FMC here, we're going to get legs page, and our lowest point that we'll be descending to before hitting the ILS will be 2,500. Yeah, we'll set 2,500 up in the altitude bug. And there we go, 2,500 set. Our minimums we've got set 220 for the type of approach that we're doing. So I'll just set it up on both sides. It's been a fairly uneventful flight, not a heap of traffic, no ATC unfortunately throughout the entirety of the flight, but that I guess allowed us to do whatever we wish. So we've been remaining on Unicorn 122.8 for the duration of the flight. Okay, we descend in just over 10 miles, so we could have worked through this checklist, but nonetheless, pressurization is set, landing altitude is at 22 feet. Recalls. Checked. Auto brake set, check 2, landing data, VREF minimum. So as I said before, our VREF is 144 knots and minimum is 220 feet. Approach briefing, we discussed the name of the approach, which is the Repo 1 Alpha, and it pretty much takes us direct via a few waypoints here via Samco, and then the over is the intercept for the ILS. So fairly standard ILS and a fairly standard approach. So I would say the checklist is completed. About 5 miles till top of descent. So I guess I'll talk to you a little bit later as we commence our final approach, or rather our approach into Singapore. Alright, So now we are just about past through 11,000 feet, which is the transition altitude for Singapore. The wind has died down slightly in Singapore to 030 at 10 knots, and 11,000 feet, 1007 set, and as we're approaching 10,000, we'll turn the lights on, and we're currently about 10 minutes away from our landing point, around 10 minutes anyway, which will have us landing approximately 2 minutes over schedule, at 5 hours and 4 minutes roughly. But yet landing ahead of the estimated landing time by 7 minutes, if that makes any sense. But nonetheless, we'll continue the approach. As we come down through 10,000, actually we're going to put the seatbelt sign on and tell the cabin to sit down. And we'll come down here to PA, cabin crew seats for landing, or rather cabin crew prepare the cabin for arrival and then seats for landing. I've got a little bit of spoiler out just to bring the speed back, and we'll continue our descent for Singapore. Alright, so now approaching, we just passed through 5,000 feet, and we're going to arm the localizer as we are just under 5 miles from the localizer and about 17 miles from the airfield. We will just come over here and set up the speed as... Okay, so we have an updated speed, 138, and 5 is 143. I typed in 145, apologies. 43. Here we go. 143 would be our VREF. I'm going to go flat 1. And localizer captured, approach mode, and glide slope captured. So we'll set up the missed approach. We go flat 2, and we will just quickly check what the missed approach altitude is, and it's 3,000. So missed approach altitude set, and we're going to bring that heading bug around to 23. And we're descending on the ILS now. We're going to bring up the HUD again. Now we'll go flat 5. Now I'm going to wait until we're within about 10 miles of the airfield before we call gear down. So bring the speed back 180 knots. Alright. Cabin crew seats for landing. And we will arm the speed brakes, as we will not be needing them now until we land. Alright, we'll call gear down. Unfortunately, I've been looking everywhere to get the authentic Singapore harbour experience, where this area is normally full of ships. Times that I've flown into Singapore in the past, in real life. This area is absolutely covered in cargo ships and all sorts. We'll call flap 10. I believe it's flap 10. Yes, flap 10. And bring the range down. And we're at about 7.5 miles until touchdown. 2,500 feet. Bring speed back 160. Flat 15. Bring that right up slowly a bit. Cabin crew being alerted. Landing checklist. Approach checklist is altimeter check, landing checklist, speed brake on, landing gear down, and flaps. We're just waiting on full flap. Flap 20. And we'll go back to VREF now, 143. actually on flap 25 currently, I believe, and flap 30. And flap 40. So landing flap selected, green light, landing checklist is complete. And we're going to take out the throttle because I prefer to have manual throttle on landings. There you go, my throttle. Minimums are 220 feet and we do have the airport in sight. Wait, I wonder if you can still see the wing. Oh yeah, you can see the flaps are extended. We'll bring that speed back a little bit. 1,000 feet. Autopilot out. My aircraft. Now we're just going to put it down nice and smoothly. As you can see on the navigation display, winds are about 10 knots, almost dead headwinds, just off from the right at about 10 to 15 degrees from our current heading. We're going to speed up a little bit again. One thing I need to invest in is rudder pedals. At the moment I am flying with a SciTech yoke, and then I've got a Logitech joystick for rudder operations on the ground normally. So and I've got the SciTech throttle quarter, and it comes with the yoke. So rudder pedals will be the next best thing to get. Anyway. Minimums, landing. Runway 02 center confirmed.
50, 30, 20, 10.
Let's put it down nice and smoothly, come on. And we're down. Spoils deployed. Reverse screen. Did not spend your braking. And we'll vacate next left. Right, we're going to remove that now. Stop the clock 5 hours and 6 minutes, and we'll vacate here on Echo 5. This is actually before the taxi I was planning on vacating on. It's not very well. Speed brakes are retracted, and strobes can come off. Start the APU, landing lights off. I'm just going to turn these lights off anyway because we don't really need them. It's not night time on the ground anyway. And we'll call flaps up. And we're parking over at stand Charlie 16 in Singapore, so I'll take Echo 5, and I can't quite understand the taxiway charts here in Singapore, so I believe it will take Echo 5, Echo Papa, Echo November, and then November 1 into the bay for here in Changi. So we'll just taxi over to the stand. Alright, so just a slight change in plans. Instead of going to Charlie 16, which for some reason my GSX would not pick up, we're going to Charlie 15 and we're coming in from a the opposite, but instead of going in November 1, I believe this is November 2. So we'll come in from here and we'll make the turn around the corner because Charlie 15 is right there. And yes, unfortunately the scenery, and for some reason my jetways are not staying. No matter how hard I try, the jetways are not staying, and I put a submitted a help ticket to Imagine Sim Simulations, but who knows. I mean, the jetways don't work anyway, so I mean, they worked with AES, but they don't work now apparently. So because AES is not developed for FSX Steam Edition. So that's great. But anyway, we will come in here, keep taxiing forwards. Don't want to come to a complete stop just yet. Oh, we went past. Oops. Yep, we stopped. Alright. On APU power, engines off, and stop the clock. So, we'll take the seatbelt signs out, over to the APU generator, pitot heats off. We'll call for deboarding, but I don't know how well it's going to go. Take those features out. Come down here. We'll go menu. FS actions, ground connections. We'll set the chocks. Go into doors. Open those two doors, and we will open the rear door because of the stairs, and we'll open that door just because then we'll trigger the GSX deboarding whole thing. And we should hear them very shortly start deboarding the aircraft. Yep, there we go. Deboarding passengers now. I'm just going to close the forward left door just so it doesn't look so weird. But we'll jump outside and we'll have a look at the aircraft. So, welcome to Singapore, everyone. As you can see, the ground crew are just getting the luggage off the aircraft now. And that's Qantas 71 from Perth to Singapore. Fairly average. We ended up running about 2 minutes over our scheduled flight time, which is actually ahead of, or rather, our scheduled flight time is 5 hours and 25 minutes, and then our planned time was 5 hours and 2 minutes, and we actually flew 5 hours and 4 minutes, so we ran late in the schemes of our rescheduled flight, our planned flight time, but we ran early by our scheduled flight time, so that was that. But nonetheless, thank you for coming back and joining us on Qantas 71 from Perth to Singapore, and I'll catch you next time. This is Pilot 08 logging off. G'day.